This week, I'll be showing you my Lightroom workflow. These are basically the steps I go through every single time I come back from a shoot. So I've been out shooting all weekend. I've already backed up some of the cards. I've just got one more to back up. So I'll show you how I do it. Put my memory card into my laptop. That'll appear on the desktop. Then I'll go into DCIM and I'll select all of these images. You can either go up here, edit, select all, or Command A. And then to copy, edit, copy, or Command C. I normally back them up on an external hard drive. Then, if I want to access my photos on another computer, it's all there ready to go. I just unplug it from this laptop, plug it into my other computer. If I open up my hard drive, you can see how I store my photographs. What I do is put the year first, then the month, and then the date. This means that it's always in chronological order, the oldest at the top, the youngest at the bottom. Then I'll put a short description after that, describing what I was doing or what I was shooting on that day. So very quickly, I can work out where my photos are. I do it this way instead of importing them through the Lightroom program, because the Lightroom program will put them in date folders and numbered folders, but that's it. There won't be a short description in that folder. So if it becomes detached from the catalog, it's quite hard to find. So I'm going to go into this Dark Skies challenge because that was the weekend that I'm backing up. As you can see, I've backed up the first 4 SD cards and I'll create another one. So now I will just paste the images into this folder. You can either go up here to edit, paste items, or Command V. It'll take a while to copy across, so this is a time to get a cup of tea. For the first few years I used digital cameras. I used to just dump it onto a hard drive, not really label any of the folders. So I've got quite a few years of images where I don't know where any of them are, and it's an absolute nightmare. I know I've got some good images in there, but it would take ages to find them. Nowadays, what I do is build a proper file system with a date and a short description. There are many ways to do this. There's no right or wrong way. Just find a system that works for you and stick to it. The problem comes when you chop and change. When you go into Lightroom and import them in Lightroom, and then you do it this way as well, you'll have images everywhere and it'll be a complete mess. So find a system and stick to it. Once you've backed them up this way, it's time to bring them into Lightroom. When you first open Lightroom, it'll bring you to this page and it'll just say Lightroom Catalog. This is the default catalog that it will open up. A Lightroom catalog is the file it creates, which then makes a database of your images. So go to File, New Catalog. So from this page, when you put Save As, it will create a folder and then it will create the catalog. What I tend to do is keep my catalogs on my laptop and I'll keep my images on a hard drive. Once I've finished editing these photos, I'll make a copy and put it onto that hard drive. So I know the catalog is on the hard drive that the images are on. So it's all together. So I'll create, skip this time, and it'll close Lightroom and then open it back up in the new catalog. So when it comes to this page, just continue that, let it do its thing. I tend to click out of it, go to File, Import Photos and Video. If you still have your memory card in, it'll default to this. We're going to go to the location where we've just copied our images to. And in my case, it's on Backup 8, 2018, 02, 22 to 24 Dark Skies Challenge. If you just click on this main folder, it'll include everything here. But I'm just going to import SD5. Also along the top here, you have copy as DNG, copy, move, or add. Because I create my own file system, I don't copy them again. They're already copied to my hard drive. If you have them on your SD card, it'll normally have copy selected. Because it notices that they're on an external hard drive, it just has add. This is add photos to catalog without moving them. So it keeps them where they are and adds them to the catalog. So they're all selected, so I'll click on Import. So once they've been imported, I'll select them all and then I'll add them to a collection. These collections are a way of filing your photos within Lightroom. So I'll click on Add, Create Collection. I'll name this exactly as I would in the folder in Finder or Explorer. So the year first, then the month, then the date, and in this case I don't really need that short description, I'm just going to put SD5. Make sure this is ticked, include selected photos, because we've selected them all, and then create. Now you can see we have a collection here with 408 images in. I'll tend to do this for each SD card. So in collections, I'll have a separate folder for separate SD cards. The next step is to grade your images. I use the star system, and in Lightroom, that's the buttons between 1 and 5. So if I click 1, that's 1 star. If I click 5, that's 5 star. What I'll do is I'll sweep through the images quickly. Any ones I like, I'll press number 2, so I'll give them 2 stars. My reason behind starting with 2 stars instead of 1 is because I'll select the images that I like with 2 stars or more. Then if I want to delete all the images that I haven't selected, I can go down into the filter system, select 1 star or less, and then rating is less than or equal to. And then all of the ones I haven't selected as 2 stars will be put into that group. So then what I can do is select all and bulk delete. So that'll get rid of any one that hasn't got a star on it. Also, if I'm going to create panoramic images or blended images or stitched images, I'll also 2 star those ones. What I'll do is I'll start going through the images and I'll very quickly start selecting the ones with 2 stars that I like. When you're doing this star rating, just make sure you're in the library module. If you click on one with a 2 star and then decide you don't want it, all you have to do is press 0 to cancel the star system. Then just work your way through your images by using the cursors, selecting the images you want with the number 2 button. Once I've marked the ones I want with 2 star ratings, I'll have a break and then come back to them to rate them onto the 3 star rating. To see the ones that you've marked as 2 star, come down to this bottom corner and click on Filter. That'll bring up these options here. So click on the 2nd star twice. Now you can see it's narrowed down here, 105 of 408 images. Now what I'm going to do is narrow them down even further. So now I know I've got those 2 star rated images selected. I'm going to work my way through these and I'm going to rate them on a 3 star rating. So the ones I really like are going to get 3 stars. Again, work your way through the images with a cursor and this time rate them with the number 3 on your keyboard. So again, you can see this is a very quick way of narrowing down your images. Now what I'll do down here on the filter area, I'll click on the 3rd star. You can see I've only got 3 stars selected. So it's now narrowed it down to 61 of 408. Doing it this way means you have to edit less photos. So you'll only edit the photos that you really like. If I grab this and drag it up, you can see all of the images along here have 3 stars on them. I've only gone to 3 stars now, but what I'll tend to do is go to 4 and 5 stars. I'll label the 5 stars to the ones that really stand out. Now we're going to switch across to the Develop module. So click on that, and you can see both of these side areas have changed. We've now got this Develop module on the right hand side with sliders. In the Develop module, I tend to use certain things. I try and keep it to these basic settings. I just want to move the sliders around a little bit to give me the image that I want. At this stage, I'll start editing. I'll do most of my editing in Lightroom, but then if I have to do some more detailed editing, I'll then go over to Photoshop. So just work your way through the images, editing as you go. This is where the learning process comes in. If you're not sure how these sliders work your way down from top to bottom, moving them around and seeing how they affect the image. If it improves the image, keep it where it is. If it doesn't, move it to a different point until you get the look that you want. Now it's just a case of editing each image one by one. If there's a group of images that I've shot similarly, I'll then edit the first one and then sync those images. I'm not going to go into detail in this video about how I edit the images. This just comes with experience. Once I'm happy with the way that I've edited the images, I'll then export them. So in Lightroom, you've just got to select all, so that's Command A or Ctrl A if you're on a Windows system, and File, Export. Here you have quite a few different options. So export location, choose folder later means I leave this process until the last step. With the file naming, I'll have custom name and sequence. With the custom text, I'll put the same name as the short description that I have here, Dark Skies Challenge. As this is just to be used on the web, I'll keep the quality to 95, have the image format to JPEG, color space sRGB, then I'll have resize to fit, long edge 1920. I have the resolution to 72 because I'm not printing it out. I'll have this on if I'm being lazy. If I've already sharpened the images, I'll keep this off. I'll have copyright and contact info. Won't put a watermark on it. In post-processing, I won't do anything there either. I'll then click on export, and now this is where having a linked Dropbox file works really well. I'll click on Dropbox, and as you can see, in my file system on Dropbox is exactly the same as on my hard drive. So you can see Dark Skies Challenge 2018 boxhead mic. I've already processed those first 4 SD cards, but I'm just doing this as an example. So I'd be in Images, I'd create a new folder. I know it's 2018. I know it was in February, and it was the 22nd to the 24th. So I'd put Dark Skies Challenge SD5. If I was exporting my best images from the whole day, I'd name this exactly as I did in Finder, but now I'm doing this as an example, so I'll just keep it labeled SD5. Then I'll open. As you can see, exporting 61 files. So now I've exported them, I'll just make sure it's done the job properly. So I'll find them, they're in Dropbox, Images. There we go. And there you go. All of the images are in there. And that's about it. Every photographer has their own way of editing their images. Some workflows may differ greatly, and some may be very similar. It's down to the individual photographer to develop a system and stick to it. If you edit your photos in Lightroom or Capture One or any kind of editing software, how does your workflow differ? Leave a comment below or send me an email. It'd be great to hear how you edit your photos. As always, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. And for weekly tutorials, hints and tips in photography, subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.